Do you guys like?
And we're back.
Jono, ask your question. Our guest here, Jono Zalay, the great comedian, a good friend of mine. What was your question about to be?
Do you guys like live stream this video?
No, we don't. Nope.
No, we don't. We use the video for hilarious clips to chop
for promo.
Okay.
And I think it's on. I think the full thing's on you. Are you still putting it on YouTube? The full thing?
I'm still putting it on YouTube. And the way you phrase that suggests the amount of action we get on YouTube.
The futility of Andrew's efforts.
Are you still?
I think it's good. Well, I'm not going to watch it. I was there.
Are you posting this on MySpace?
Yeah, we posted on MySpace. I just blare it on a speaker in my backyard every Wednesday afternoon. So for like the locals. So we're getting it out there.
And this is just for our listeners because we had such a bumpy start. I just want to tell you how we started. Andrew going, Jono, do you have any questions? Well, let's just start. Click, and then he hit
Well, I did say no, and then I did have a question once I realized, and then it was as they were starting that I was like, well.
Thank you for that intellectual honesty, Jono. I appreciate that.
Yes. I'm not going to throw Andrew under the bus for that. I'll say that for a better one.
Oh,
all right.
I know you guys inspired me for a topic if I get to it. But how you doing, John? So you're, first of all, you are married now.
I am married.
How's marriage life? Me and Johnny are two old married fellas.
Yeah, we got married last November, so it's like coming up on, I guess it's 5 months married we've been.
With a big 5 months? Yeah. What are you gonna get her?
I'm still, putting a shirt on most days, so had that going for me.
Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, like it's been the same. Like nothing has changed since March 2020 in our daily life. That's when we moved in together. Was the COVID
right?
Big COVID move.
Marriage is not as consequential to your relationship as a pandemic, turns out.
Right. Or cohabitating even.
Well, for sure. Moving in together is the event.
Right.
Marriage is a piece of paper. Like I remember when Heidi and I got married, I don't know if I've told this before or not, but Jono, you were at the wedding. We should tell that's actually a great story.
Yeah.
You should tell that story.
What a great
Hang on to that. You tell that story after this. But because of all the craziness, people were getting, there was like a norovirus outbreak at our wedding. And so all these people got sick afterwards. And because of that, and I got it a couple days later, we just didn't get around to like filing the paperwork, So like we were in Montana, so you're supposed, and Heidi's grandfather is a judge who officiated the wedding. So we were supposed to take the paperwork to the courthouse in Missoula the next day, and we never got around to it. And it took us a year to actually file. So we spent our whole first year of marriage not really married.
Living in sin.
But like it didn't, and guess what changed when we actually put the paperwork in? Nothing.
Right.
Nothing changed. You know what I mean? It's all, the commitment is like because you told all your friends that you're married, and then
we're recording on tax day, so your tax status did.
Well, the tax status did change, but I think you can file jointly even without being legally married.
Oh, really?
Well, I might be making that up, but
public service announcement. I just got a check in the mail from quote unquote the U.S. Treasury for like $800, and I didn't know what it looks like, a tax return thing, but I already got mine digitally, so I looked it up. It's definitely a scam, so watch out for these scams. If you get a check from the Treasury, check that it has check that it's an actual check, because this is just like
But I don't understand, like, how can they, so they're sending you money.
Yeah, it's theoretical. I think what happens is like whoever sends this check, like you deposit it into the bank, and then they'll contact you a few days later saying, oh, we overpaid you, pay this back. And then you send some money back. But by the time that happens, like your bank has like already nixed the other check or something. That's how some check scams work. But anyway,
Yeah, the government calls you and they're like, "Can you send us a Walmart gift card back?"
The currency isn't doing so hot right now. We
Yeah,
like
yeah.
to trade in for Best Buy.
Mhm.
Wow. You know what's funny? I got a card in the mail the other day, and it was from the Nielsen ratings people, and they
Ooh, I
wanted
got
us
one
to
of those
sign
too.
up. You got that too?
Yeah.
We're just two
The
morons.
famous Nielsen scam?
Well, maybe.
Well,
Or they
said
just
only
sent it to the
dumbest.
two morons who watch the most TV in the world. But or just talk about TV. But it had a $2 bill in the letter. And I've gotten, because I have a mortgage, I get so many of these fake bills and fake money, fake checks, fake.
Yeah.
So I always just immediately, whenever I see money like cash from a I immediately just rip up the envelope, right?
Yeah.
So I ripped up the envelope and went to recycle it, and I'm looking at the $2 bill. I'm like, God, this feels real. It was a real $2 bill. It was an actual. They were mailing $2 bills to people,
money in it.
and I ripped up a $2. So I like taped it back together. It was either like the best counterfeited $2 bill of all time, or it was an actual $2 bill.
Did you take it into the bank or did you spend it?
No, I tipped the piano player at the Portland airport with it because I didn't trust it.
No, they'll get busted by Treasury.
Yeah.
I
was like, oh, I'm a good guy.
You get the credit of being a giver, but then they get busted.
Exactly.
No, but when I was in LA, I got one of those scams where they like reach out and they're like, "All right, we're gonna pay you. We'll give you a check, and then after you get paid, we come and wrap your car, like one of those car wrap, where they like put advertisements on your car."
Oh.
I was like, "I don't give a shit. Sure, you can do that. I'll get paid for it." And so they sent me a check. I took it to the bank, went through and everything. And then they were like asking for some of it back. And that's when I was like, wait a minute, what? So I contacted the bank and I was like, I deposited something that went through, but this seems like a scam. And then they're like, oh, let me look. Yeah. And there's some way that they can they'll accept it. And then later they find out, oh, this is just not a real source.
I was reading something that they were like, I don't know if this was like put together with actual data or just as sort of anecdotal, but doesn't it seem like scams are at an all-time high? Just like attempted scam, like the phones, the stuff they mail you, like my dad, the emails, like my dad got hooked on a pretty convincing one, this Norton antivirus thing. Have you ever gotten that one where they're like, we've charged your account for $250, respond if you for Norton antivirus software, because that's like the one thing they know everybody's like had at some point and then might have forgotten to cancel, and they certainly don't want it.
Yeah.
And so everyone like then gives their bank account information to like go. It's scams seem at an all-time high.
Yeah. Also, I've seen a ton of people's Instagram accounts getting hacked.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
they're like,
you see someone's story like, hey, answer this question. It's like some riddle or whatever, and they're like, I'm gonna give away money. Anytime your friends start giving away money on Instagram, he's like, that doesn't sound like anyone I'd be friends with.
You're like, hey, you owe me money. What are you giving away money for?
Wait a second, you still haven't paid me for that bar show I did of yours 3 years ago.
Yeah, the Instagram, my PlayStation account got hacked, and I there's no way to get it back. Someone set up a 2-factor authentication on it, and then it wasn't me, and then now I don't have the second and they're like, no, they don't believe me. It's been like so it's like, I guess I'm done. It's probably for the best, but I'm done playing video games. So
it just breaks my heart.
There was one that was the one I saw recently. It was like a DM thing where it's like, hey, can I ask you a favor? And it's like, vote for me in this contest or whatever. And like so many comics actually do that. So it's like,
I know. I was gonna say the real scam of comedy contests is not that much different.
Yeah. But yeah, so that guy had fallen for that and then paid it forward to me, and I said, like, this doesn't sound like this is a scam, right? And he's like, yeah, sorry, I got hacked.
That would be the most humiliating moment in your life if you posted like, "Hey everybody, I really need you to vote for me in this contest. I need to get this many," and I move on to the second round. Everyone's like, "Hey, I'm reporting this as a scam. This sounds desperate. This doesn't." You're like, "No, no, no, no! I really need this."
Maybe it's like someone trying to kill that industry. It's just like, enough of this. I'll make it a scam so that everyone immediately reports all future vote harvesting.
Yeah, so it's impossible to have a legitimate one.
That's what we should do. Is we should start a comedy contest, but that is not even like we just a full-on scam, not like the half-ass scam that they are now, where they like no, we just actually take everybody's money and then never put on a festival.
Yeah.
we just put up a bunch of fake names on the poster that sound like, diverse enough, and then no one bothers us, and then we just never put on a festival, and it's in some city no one's gonna go to, so no one bugs us about it. It's kind of a great idea now that I'm talking it out loud.
Yeah,
we just blew our cover on the podcast.
Wow, I think we're still safe, Johnny.
This is an Easter egg if they go back and listen.
We're still safe. I'm not worried.
They're gonna dig through YouTube and find
this. Maybe someone will catch it on YouTube. One of those people.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, John,
how was everyone's Easter?
Oh gosh,
Easter
was Easter, wasn't it? Oh, solid. So
I had a good Easter. We had an Easter basket for Ginger, but Heidi went to Target Saturday before Easter, Saturday afternoon, and they were like cleaned out. No, so we had to fill the basket with mostly. My parents had bought a few like a chocolate bunny and a couple other things, but we had to fill the basket mostly with like just fun things that were not Easter related at all. So like just Reese's Pieces, but that were just Reese's, not like Easter themed, and like these Lego block things, and then that was...
Oh, that's gonna mess her up.
Listen, if you don't get any egg-shaped candies, Jesus doesn't come back to life. He just
I know.
Yeah. Everyone knows that.
It did feel very sacrilegious. We hit him though. We hit it, and then she's like, she saw it, and she just walked right by it. We're like, "No, you found it. That's it." And she's like, "I don't want to do."
Yeah, that's not Easter related. I'm not.
This weekday candy. I don't care.
It's just a bunch of shit in a basket. It's like we have 9 of those in here.
Yeah.
What about you, Johnny? Do you have a good Easter?
Yeah, I just play. We play softball on Sundays in LA with comedians. You're an old softball teammate, Motley's Comedy Club's sponsored team, back in the Boston days.
Yeah. Did you know Lincoln asked for that jersey back?
I remember.
Johnny, I moved to back out of Boston, and once I didn't tell anybody I was leaving, and then once like the word got out I'd left, this guy who I'd paid for the jersey, but this guy, he was like, "Hey, can you FedEx back your jersey so we can give it to somebody else?" It's like, no.
Listen, we signed a promising young prospect, and we need to, can't spring for a new uniform. It's exactly your size.
So I assume it didn't have your last name on it then.
No. It did have a bunch of paint stains on it because I immediately started working construction in it.
You know, I kept that T-shirt for so long, and I think I donated it to this like local mutual aid foundation around here that we have like a fridge that you can donate clothes and food. And I have like, there's probably 12 comedy club and festival T-shirts that I donated because they were just a decade old and filling up my drawer. So like we look like we had the most accomplished unhoused population in Los Angeles, just like representing Limestone and Boston Comedy Festival.
All the homeless people have more credits than the people on the shows. Johnny, what about your Easter?
It was great. I drove back after the show because I was in Des Moines this weekend, and so I drove through the night, and so I didn't get much sleep. But ran out to the backyard, hid some eggs, and the kids found them, and the kids were crackheads all day because they were all sugared up, but it was good.
So you do the actual Easter egg hunt.
I mean, we did. Yeah, I mean,
How well hidden are the eggs?
not well. We could only find 10. We only had. We have 3 kids and 10 eggs. We have 10.
Oh my God!
We could only find 10 plastic eggs because this was not like prepared in advance. It was like the morning of. Aaron was like, "Go downstairs, try to find those plastic eggs," and I could find 10. So I just hid.
10 eggs and 3 kids. That's like Lord of the Flies because that's not equal. Like
that's guaranteeing a loser, which is great. I love that. I don't know about you if you guys did this with your siblings, but my mom had to eventually like kind of color code the eggs and like get a exact equal amount for each of us so that we would not quote like kill each other during the egg hunt because we became too competitive and like we basically got segregated, so it was like a timed thing rather than a get the most eggs thing. So it was like find all the eggs in a certain amount of time rather than like steal your brother's eggs.
I think we might have gone to like 1 or 2 of those Easter egg hunts, but like nobody hid eggs at my like. But one time they did hide the baskets, the actual Easter baskets, and one time, we were getting ready to go to church, but we would find the Easter baskets before, and we're looking, and Dave, my brother, finds his, and Mark, my brother, finds his, and I'm looking everywhere. I cannot find my basket, And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm tearing stuff out, and I start looking at my parents like, can I get a hint or something? And my mom's just kind of like thinking about it, but they're not saying anything. And we have to go to church. I didn't find the basket. Turns out she never put out a basket. She had forgotten my Easter basket. And so she let me look like a maniac. Like I was the worst Easter basket hunter of all time. There was no basket. They had to when we got home, like had to like hastily put some crap in a basket.
Let that be a life lesson to you. Sometimes you think you have faith on a religious holiday, boom, nothing.
No.
For Christmas last year, there was like a Switch game, and I forgot to put it out. I left it in the basement, and they had opened all their stuff, and I was like, well, I gotta, because I knew I wanted to play the game, so I had to give it to them. So I was like, so I went and got it, and I put it into Edie's stocking, and I was like, hey, I think there's something. Is there something else in your stocking? And she's like, no, Dad, I went through it already. I pulled it. It's empty. And I was like, well, why don't you check again? And she was like, Dad. And she found it. She's like, Dad, it was empty. This was not in there. I don't know. Maybe you just didn't check close enough.
Oh, man. So, it's good holiday. Oh, wait, Jono, tell it quick before we get into it. And I'm going to forget. Tell the story about my wedding. What happened?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So, I had attended Andrew's wedding, and it was like the reception and ceremony, I guess, as well, were like at this cool house in Montana, big like ranch.
Very rural, Charlotte, Montana, at my wife's uncle's house.
Right. So very scenic, very cool. And the plan initially was to have people like set up tents there on the property, right? And so I had a tent. I was driving cross country at the time as well, with my friends. So we were planning on spending the night in the tent, no problem. But it started raining, and so like the chances of sleeping outdoors were a lot less inviting. So we heard about Andrew had booked a bunch of rooms at this like hunting lodge situation that was like a 10-minute drive away, which was like beautiful in its own right. But like by the time, so like myself and my friend Sarah, who was with me, we left a little earlier than Andrew and the wedding party to get to this hunting lodge. And by the time we got there, it was pouring, like monsoon rains, just like could barely see in front of you. So we pull up, and we've been given instructions like, go to room number 2. or whatever. The no one will be there, but you just go straight in. It'll be on the left, door number 2. So we go into the main lobby. There's no one in there. There's just a big empty room, a kitchen attached. We see it's raining so hard. We look out the windows. We see no other buildings. So we just think like, well, it's somewhere in here. So we walk in and we're looking into the rooms on the left. There's no numbers on them, which is a red flag for sure. We should have known. But we go, well, it can't be this number 1. It looks more like the main suite. It looks like, a big bed where like Andrew and Heidi would sleep. So we go to the next one, which looks like it'd been set up for a ghost room. Like there was an old woman's nightgown hanging down. There was a bunch of old animal skins and heads hanging up everywhere. Just like the most creepiest, like Victorian era hunting lodge situation. So we like remove a few deerskin like rugs from the beds. And my friends and Sarah and I sleep in this room overnight. And then we find out the next morning that was just the owners of the ranch's actual sleeping quarters. We had just gotten out of there just in time before they discovered us.
No, but when you walked out, you saw people.
Oh yeah. So we saw people and we're like, huh, what's happening? Like,
and it was just some family making kids breakfast.
No like sign of the wedding party anywhere other than like in the other building, which we eventually saw.
Right. So there was a whole nother like building that you missed because of the rain or whatever in the darkness.
Whoops.
They could have walked in and been like, "What the hell? You're just in."
Yeah, just like, who are these random?
They legally could have shot you.
Yeah, seriously. And like there was.
I'm familiar with all the American gun laws. I think
they could have shot me with any of the 20 guns in that hunting lodge.
Yeah. Anyway, I tell that story a lot.
Thanks. Yeah, it's good to be the story from your wedding. Did you see what happened at my wedding?
Yes. Oh my God. You should talk about that.
Yeah. So I just we had a normal, formal reception at a, venue in Los Angeles, but the day before we decided we didn't want to like have a big ceremony, so we have like sort of an informal exchange of vows in front of friends and family. And Amy, my wife, was like, oh, let's just do it at our house. Let's like not make it complicated. Let's just do it and then go have pizza for our, rehearsal dinner type thing. I was like, nah, let's go to a park. It'll be nice. There's a few parks around here. They're very scenic. It'll be like a little more fancy or, beautiful. And myself and all of my groomsmen, because it's just like the informal exchange of vows, and my dad is officiating this, by the way, we're all dressed in matching black Adidas tracksuits. So that tips us off as we're a group. And then, and so we go to this park called Barnsdall Park in Los Angeles, which is this like, it's right in Los Feliz. It's like kind of looks over the Hollywood sign and the Griffith Observatory. It's scenic. And it has like some really fancy old buildings. So we start the ceremony, and 30 seconds in, like 4 or 5 cops descend upon us and break up the ceremony. And they're like, whoa, you can't do this. You can't take pictures here. You can't have group gatherings. Someone called and complained.
Oh my God.
I was like,
wow.
Who on, like, there wasn't anyone else around. There was like someone on the opposite side of the park, like playing violin or something. And so I was asking who's complaining, like, and the only thing is like they must have seen a bunch of guys in tracksuits. I was like, here comes trouble. Jabberwockies. It's a flash mob. And then so they booted us from our own wedding, and we had to go straight back to our house and in our courtyard, just like Amy asked for from the beginning. And I had to rewrite my vows to give her credit for being right all along.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm
just a lifetime of I mean, that's talk about starting off on the wrong foot. Ooh, having to admit you're wrong in the first second of marriage. Ouch.
Nowhere close. It was like that Super Bowl where like the Peyton Manning had the ball launched over his the Seattle Super Bowl.
Oh, you mean the best Super Bowl ever?
The only one Seattle won, and out of the 2 they should have.
Yeah. Ouch. Hey, that sounds very exciting.
Yeah, it is funny. Like
I think I saw a picture you posted. Didn't you have a picture of you like with the
Yeah.
cop?
Yeah. Well, I was like talking to the cop as like Amy and my dad are laughing.
Did the cops have a sense of humor about it? Did they realize how ridiculous it was?
The guy was like trying to do like, oh, I'm just doing my job. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this, but we got to complain. We got to do our thing. And it's just like, we would have been there 5 minutes standing in a park. There's nothing illegal we're doing here. But it's just another sign, big wedding, can't let you get a free one, you know?
That's right.
It's just amazing to me because I don't know how it is in Los Angeles, but in Portland, all anybody talks about is like, oh, I called the cops and 6 hours later, nobody showed and someone broke into my home and killed my wife, and cops, they're like, hey, you got to call your councilman. We don't really deal with that anymore. But then you try to get married in the park and the five SWAT members show up.
Listen, we got to defund the park police.
Apparently.
I'll pay him only in my U.S. Treasury checks.
Yeah.
Cash it later. Yeah.
Well, Jono,
should we get into it? Should we do some?
We should get into it. We're this is a great pre-show banner, but we are like burning daylight here.
One last thing I'll say is like I don't generally like I do my homework when I'm invited on a podcast. So I listened to the last couple episodes, and like the one a couple before was Joe Zimmerman, which was nice. It's a good lead in. My old podcast partner himself.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was like, okay, this is great. And then I was excited. And then the last one you guys did, the one complaint was like, no guests. Stop.
Carry
and
something.
As if the fans hadn't weighed in enough. Andrew was like, also speakeasies are bullshit. And which is the exact location where I run my monthly comedy show.
Yeah. Wait, is your version of that as a speakeasy too?
Mm-hmm. They're both through the door of a barber shop.
Oh, okay. Making it even less cool that they're like, let's franchise the idea of walking through a barber shop. No offense. But no, we are happy to have you here, Jono, despite we don't look.
I think we were pretty clear that we're having guests whether they want them or not.
We'll take the feedback, but also the guy called us lazy. They're like, you can't come up with ideas for yourselves. And it's like, no, we cannot. That's a lot of ideas.
Yeah, I mean, morning radio, like they figured this out so long ago by having comedians on. It's like, oh, this is an hour of time we don't have to fill.
Yeah. And like, he was like, be more topical. Just Google that's what he said. Google the trending topics.
Yeah, the trending topics.
Like you're up a newspaper. Like you're writing for Kimmel or something like that.
I know.
Or just like,
and also like, it's not exactly. This is always like 6 days later it comes out. So it wouldn't be the best monologue. But yeah, no, we love our guests here on the Cavalry, and we're happy to have you here, Jono. So, what do you need backup on? So you actually listen to the show, so you're familiar with how.
Listen, I do my homework because I'm a professional, but I did not listen to a single episode before that. I don't listen to any comedy podcasts. I don't blame you other than the ones I'm about to do it. I was in fact under the impression this was a sports podcast.
Ooh, could not have been wronger.
It sounds like it's like because Andrew has a good sports background.
It's also not a grammar podcast. Like you were all teed up to say that could not be further from the truth. But you're like, couldn't be wronger.
That's all the concussions talking.
Yeah, no, Johnny's not a sports guy.
Oh no,
no, but if we have time, I'll do my sports topic.
Yeah. Oh, what a tease. Okay,
yeah,
let's get through Jono's bullshit and get to that.
What a tease! As Carrie just turns off her iPod.
Carrie hasn't been listening for a long time. The second Jono started talking.
So. My thing that I need backing up on, which I feel like it's something that's always bothered me, and it's sports related actually. Now that I think about it, is like back, remember growing up, you played, t-ball, whatever, and it's the big cultural debate, participation trophies, right? Everyone's like
Right.
super pro or against, like, are we rewarding losers, or are we just propping up their self-esteem when they could use it? And my issue with participation trophies, I just like went home to clear out some of my old stuff from my parents' house, and I found like a tub full of trophies, which is my main problem with it. Is like, the people who are very pro participation trophies are also probably anti single-use plastic. And like, there is no more single-use plastic than a participation trophy.
Wait, yours weren't solid gold?
They were spray painted gold, probably with some toxic chemicals, not BPA free. A giant melted down plastic bottle put
Right.
into a soccer ball shape. And like,
So your trophies were not participation; they were first, second, third.
well, I mean, like, I kept a few of them, but like, they're worthless junk. You want to keep them for like a couple years when you're younger, I guess, when you care about that stuff. But it just seems like such a waste. Like, trophies in general, like, make like, my push would be to make them, if at all, out of bamboo or something. Like, you have to, like, if you're gonna give out participation trophies, they have to be sustainable.
Wait,
Here's
this is
that's
amazing.
the compromise. This is the compromise I'm making. Like, sure, reward the first and second place teams, what have you. They can be made of whatever, solid gold. One hopes. I'm a libertarian, the gold standard. But then if you are handing out participation trophies, they have to be made of something you can recycle, or like would biodegrade, or wouldn't kill a dog. How many turtles have choked to death on a participation trophy is what I'm saying.
Yeah, what a sad way to go.
Yeah.
You didn't even choke on a most inspirational?
Most improved.
This is an amazing topic. I think you found a way to enrage everyone, because you're like, let's do participation trophies, making some people mad, or do away with but then make them reusable, which makes everyone who you were gonna get with anti-participant, so everyone's pissed off at you. So
Yeah.
I'm backing you up on that alone.
just because of that.
Just because everyone's going to be mad at
need
you.
to anger the parents of Little League killed children even more so.
It's so easy too. It's
I know.
As Johnny will tell you.
Like, I don't even think the participation trophies are for the kids. They're definitely for the adults, right? Like, I don't know.
Well, it saves the adult the conversation,
Right.
I guess, of like why you didn't get a trophy.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Uh,
With my kids, as long as they get their free coupon for an ice cream cone at the snack shop, they don't give a shit if they won or lost.
That's all you need. Like, that, the hot dog, the
Yeah.
whatever ice cream, the icy, like, give them something. Like, when I lost, as a young, I wasn't like the best athlete, but I knew when we didn't win. Like, just give me a hot dog, I'm fine.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or don't wait, like, give me a chore in 30 years to like go through a garage and toss out and go to a landfill.
What about this? So here's a compromise, because participation trophies don't mean any, you know what I mean? Like, the argument would be they're meaningless, right?
Yeah.
And you want to be able to reuse them. At least don't put any names on them. Just make them like, so then that you get it, and then you're like, okay, I have this. It's just a thing. It says, "Great job, participant," and then and you can just give it back, and then they hand them down. There's way less of them that way.
Right. Or like the bottle, like the old milk bottle things, they're starting to come back, where you like,
right, the glass.
You pay a $5 deposit, and then you get it back the next year when you sign up.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And you don't engrave anything on them.
No.
But it's just a generalized, non-gendered sort of thank you.
Yeah.
So if you do keep them, then 30 years later, you can clean out a bunch of way to go participant trophies.
No, then you can give them to your kids.
Or put them out on the street and have a person who recycles come and collect them all.
Well, or that too.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
either way,
That,
like there needs to be a more sustainable business model for trophies. Is my biggest point, and participation trophies seem like the easiest and biggest like impact.
well, I was thinking about it when you were saying that. I was like, oh, that was a thing when I was a kid. When I got trophies, I'd like to put them up on my shelf, and you could look at them and like, oh, look at
Yeah.
all my trophies or whatever. But then now that's probably in this digital era less important anyway. People are so maybe you need like some sort of
Oh yeah, like having
holographic trophy. Like you just buy one trophy stand and then
mhm.
it makes a hologram and then it can rotate through all your different achievements.
Or like have a step and repeat at the awards ceremony with like
Yeah, yeah.
hashtag third place or whatever, or hashtag participant, like, or
Right.
whatever hashtag you want to come up with.
And you just get, depending on how well you did, you get retweeted by a bigger and bigger influencer. Like if you win the whole national tournament, Dua Lipa will retweet your.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You get a following. Yeah, get some actual rewards out of this.
Yeah,
Something you
I
put
like
on your
it.
digital shelf. You
I
know,
just yeah,
put on your main tiles for Instagram.
in your metaverse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm impressed. Andrew pulled Dua Lipa out. You're not known for his music knowledge.
I just saw that. I don't know how that came across my life, but a Dua Lipa thing. Was she at the Grammys or something? I don't know. Somehow she entered my universe, and now I have that name in my head for the next probably 3 weeks.
Anytime you need a music reference, it'll be
Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa. I like to say it like how Letterman would say it. Dua Lipa is here. Yeah, no, I'm backing you up, Johnny, and I just think it's so funny. You're like you're trying to find, like, if you were running for office, you were trying to find the smallest voter demographic of all time.
Right.
Like, I care about the environment and I don't like participation trophies. Is this a group? Who's with me?
You want to hear a wild swing I was thinking about earlier?
What?
Like a bigger, more like definitely no one would be on board with, but I would run on it because I kind of sincerely believe it.
Yeah.
They should outlaw private schools.
Whoa, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I will back you up on that because that would solve a lot of problems.
It's like it just teaches everyone from a young age, like, if you have enough money, you can buy yourself out of society as it exists.
There's giant I think it's like there's problems with it like constitutionally or like, you know what I mean? But if just on a sheer problem solving issue, like if all the rich parents had to send their kids to the same school as everybody else, every school would be like better on the whole and would you know what I mean? So it would solve a lot of problems. But again, you would
that
be
a private school offers that a public school couldn't offer if those private school people went to public school.
Yeah, except for the religious teachings and the and if you're like, you know,
I have thought about that. You can always have a supplemental thing, like it'd be like the supplemental insurance if you had like Medicare for all, or theoretically it's just like you can go to like an after school program.
Well, yeah, because they have that at churches. Like you can go to your church and do religious education.
You can get like you can learn Hebrew or go to a Catholic whatever they do after school, like. Or
yeah, but if my kid is going to learn math, I want it to be the way Jesus teaches math.
Would you see like DeSantis in Florida, like they're like banning all these math books from schools because of critical race theory. They're like, there's too many examples of black people in this math book, I guess.
Dude, I heard a story today about how there's like the new front lines of the culture wars are public libraries, not school libraries, but and they're running election, like they're, you know, people who are worried about critical race theory are running and winning in like very rural areas for library board elections, and then they will just ban books right and left, you know, and then they were mad because the meetings were open, so like there were journalists there like taking notes, and they were like mad about that. But they would, every time a book came up to be banned, they would take a moment of silent prayer to pray about it, and then they would go, okay, yep, that one's gone too. We talked to the big guy. He's
Oh God.
He's not a fan of that one either.
Oh my God.
So but it's just funny to me, the theater of like, no, we take this job very seriously. So let's pray about it for 30 seconds. Everyone shut up. And also that's banned. Yep.
I prayed about it, and God didn't want me to feel guilty about being white for one more second. Man, that was so funny. Like after George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter, it was like white people felt guilty for like 2 months, and they're like, "We're taking over." Like we're not letting anyone learn about racism. Otherwise, we might be implicated.
Well, it's like it's weird with, I don't know how you measure progress or whatever, but it just seemed like the backlash is always worse than the lash.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So like whatever you do, whatever reaction to that is always worse.
Mm-hmm.
So like, how do you do anything?
Yeah. No, it's like
this isn't the show to answer that question.
Digging deep this week.
Here's my thing. White History Month.
Oh my God. Carrie's back. Hey,
did you guys know, like, what was the name of the person who made that comment?
Carrie something.
Carrie,
we have our first call in. It's Carrie.
Oh, Carrie's online. Go
Carrie
ahead,
Mahoney is the name of the protagonist in the Police Academy movies. It's definitely
and that's
pseudonym.
them. That is the same. No, I'm not sure. It's Carrie is kind of a gender. I keep going back and forth.
K-A-R-I.
So you think it's a she? K-A-R-I?
Ari?
I think it's a she.
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be a she. I'm not going to say anything, but usually it's a she.
It's short for Karen, if I'm right.
There'll be no Karen slander here. My poor mother.
I know.
Hey, Jono, I want to hear your sports topic, though. Johnny. God, this Johnny thing is bothering me. Johnny, I want to hear your sports-related topic.
All right. Yes, it's Carrie Mahoney, K-A-R-I. That's how I had to check. Okay. All right. So here's my topic. I thought of this when I was in Arizona at the spring training, whatever games. So I think at baseball games, I don't even remember who played. It was Seattle and another team. So at baseball games, instead of having professional pitchers, they should either have a machine do it. Here's your choices. They should either have a machine do it, or they should draw a person like, all right, whoever has seat number 226 in section 4, you're the pitcher. Or have the second baseman pitch.
Just from
second base. Because I enough with this strikes. Like, how boring. The action is when there's a hit. So we have to do something to make more hits. Right?
So you just want like a home run derby.
Yeah.
I guess, but do they run the bases in home run derbies?
But these games would be hours. I mean, they'd be like they would never end.
Well, then change it to 2 outs or some shit. I don't know, but I'm sick of watching nothing happen.
Like the driving range version of baseball.
Yeah.
Like a top golf, but for baseball.
Well, I heard someone I don't know if it was my brother-in-law, said that they at some point they did move the pitcher's mound back. Was that recent or no? Because
yeah, they mess around with it. Like sometimes they raise the mound. When they raise the mound, it becomes less hitting. I think it's more difficult. So sometimes they'll lower the mound or raise whenever they're always trying to tweak it to like create this perfect amount of baseball that the baseball people think is the right amount of runs or the right.
Put them on second base.
Yeah,
baseball algorithm.
But I don't think they've ever had it where the second baseman pitched from second base. You
don't sound confident.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe in the 30s or something, but I'm pretty sure they didn't.
How exciting would that be if it was like you got to see some moron, some idiot, from the stands, just like, oh God, I got to pitch a baseball game.
Like all the people who like throw out the first pitch, like some of those are super embarrassing, and those people know they're throwing a pitch.
That's
Right.
true.
They have time to practice.
That's true. Yeah, they know. Yeah.
I like it when they like. Do you ever see when there's like someone throws out the first pitch and they're a gymnast or something,
Mm.
and then they do like a cartwheel and a backflip and then throw the pitch? It's like, we knew you were a gymnast. You didn't have to prove it, and then you just threw
We're at
the
a
ball.
baseball game.
Yeah, and then you just threw the ball the same way you would have
Yeah.
before the gymnast activities. It's not like, hey, we've brought on this astronaut Buzz Aldrin to throw, and he has to like fly in a rocket before he's allowed to throw the pitch.
Yeah, they have
Anyway.
a comedian. The comedian just tells a joke real quick before the pitch.
Hey, I'm gonna be at Omaha Funny Bone, and here's ball one. But I will back you up on the fact that baseball, maybe what we do. I think your idea is a little radical for some of the baseball purists out there who are upset about the designated hitter. They might get mad about this. But what about like if it's a blowout? Because sometimes if it's a blowout and like a team doesn't want to ruin their bullpen rotation, they will let their second baseman or outfielder pitch, just because they're like, we're not going to waste a real pitcher. We're down 15-1. So we're just going to throw out this idiot who normally doesn't pitch. So instead of doing that,
Wait, what's the harm in having your pitcher? What do you mean waste your pitcher? Like,
Well,
well, because they
wrist
get
injury?
tired.
Oh,
If
okay.
you throw a bunch of pitches, you can't play the next game. They need a couple days off.
Okay.
So like strategically, they're like, we're gonna lose this game. That's happening. So we're not gonna waste a good pitcher. We're gonna send out our utility infielder.
Yeah.
So instead of that, you could once a game make the call from the crowd and bring in the guy who ate the most hot dogs or whatever.
Right after he ate them.
Yeah, and see if he shits his pants on the mound.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right.
That's pretty good, Johnny.
I like it.
I'm not going to argue with
It
that.
came from the
I
heart.
like
you know?
any
It came from
kind
the
of
heart.
fan interaction thing that happens on a baseball field. I'm usually for it. Like, it's always a little fun to like see like who's gonna do it, like our basketball thing when they bring someone out to make a shot. Like it's always an
yeah.
element that we're like we can be on their side or not. We can choose sides.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I was thinking about when you were saying that is like people who go streaking, or not even just go streaking, but just like run out onto the field or the court
Yeah.
during a game. And there's this policy of the television networks always cut away. They'll never show it. And if the only way you'll ever see it is if you go on Twitter quick and like look for somebody's fan cam or whatever. But do you think that's actually discouraging people? Like, because the theory of that is like, hey, we're not going to give this guy the spotlight because then it'll encourage more people to do it in the
Right.
future. But
Like we do school shooters.
Yeah, I was about to say like the thing that took us way too long to learn was school shooting. Like I wonder if like the first streaker like got his manifesto read over
Right.
the front page of Sports Illustrated is like, what was this man thinking? He wanted everyone to see his ass streaking across the field.
We should understand where he's coming from. He's very sexually frustrated. No girls would talk to him. So that's why he decided to run across Wrigley Field in his underwear.
Bare naked lone wolf.
Well, it's funny you guys took it that way because I was about to say, like, I don't even know if that works. Like, is it discouraging people from streaking or running on the field to not show them on TV? Because I would like to see it. I very much, when I'm watching the game, would go, man, I wish I was watching this guy and a bunch of fat security guards chasing him around. I mean, what's better than that, you know? And then maybe one player just clotheslines them, like this super athlete shows you like how much bigger and stronger they are than everybody else.
Yeah, those are always fun. I think they should have like a red zone channel for that.
Premium subscription.
Yeah.
I would pay it. I would absolutely pay it. Jono. Wait, do you have anything else quick? Did you have another one you really want to get off your chest?
Yeah. So this is weirdly also somewhat sports related, tangentially though, is like if comedians performing charity gigs still have to get paid as much as they would for a regular show, if not the whole corporate rate. Like too many times I've been pressured into like, oh, we're raising money for, lupus. You'll do it for free because you also hate lupus, right? Prove it. Perform. Do a full, 45 in front of a bunch of people giving us money, but not you.
Yeah.
I'm sure the wage staff are still getting paid, but not the comedian.
Oh yeah, I always tell them, make that speech to Domino's or whoever you're getting the food from. Well, you guys should give us the food for free, right? Or we shouldn't have to pay rent tonight because we're raising money. Like that's what charity is,
Yeah, I have no problem. I have no problem being like, oh no, I don't know anyone with lupus. I'm gonna.
I charge more. Oh, you're raising money for cancer? That's a bummer. That's gonna cost you.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough.
Also, I mean, like, I'd love to also see like a transparency of where this money is going, because like any like comedy show that's raising money for something is like, I talk about this on my album. Spoiler teaser alert. That like if you raise less, like if you raise like $1,000 to like combat a disease, you've bought that lab a pizza party. Like there's no like study that can be done for less than $1 million. So like we're like, even if you're raising tens of thousands of dollars, like what is that going to? Like we buying latex gloves for one lab?
A bunch of fat scientists.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like there's almost nothing that any like of those charity shows are doing other than just to like prove that you can gather and support a thing. It's all grand.
Well, it's almost always a way to get a crowd. It's
true.
easier to market a show or an event or anything if there's a charitable cause behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I cannot. It's funny because we usually wait to name names on the post show on the Patreon, but I literally cannot remember their names. So this is, I'm not like hiding anything. But there was a guy who would do these like breast cancer shows all across Canada, and it'd be like this run of breast cancer. I think for Susan G. Komen, which is like a big thing. Mm-hmm. But real, like legit cause. But like you said, who knows how much of this money is even going, or is that just a name? And he would sell T-shirts afterward. And they had some awful, I love tits or whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, I was like, how much do you take? Like, what do you, you're selling like 1 billion shirts. Like how much? He's like, oh, this is for me. But I was like, certainly when someone's buying a shirt, they think some portion of it's going to the Susan G. Komen Foundation.
Yeah.
I don't say that.
Good Lord.
I promised nothing.
So.
I mean, I will say, like, it's specifically tailored. My point is specifically tailored to like disease research and stuff like that, like breast cancer research, whatever, diabetes. Like, if it's going to help like refugees or immigrants or something like that, that probably does help.
Or even like one guy who befell some unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, if he had like an accident and needs a medical bill paid for,
I can go along.
Those are worthy causes, but also on top of that, pay the comedian.
Right, and also not as buzzworthy. Like it's harder to sell tickets for like, hey, Gary fell off a ladder, and he's not doing too great. Can we raise some money? But if you're selling tickets for like, cancer, everyone knows somebody touched by cancer, so then it's like an easier way to move tickets. But yeah, pay the comedians, pay us lots of money. We need it. We deserve it. We're like our charity of our own. Right, I'm
doing this show to benefit my friend. He's a comedian. So, everybody knows it.
That's what it's going to come to. We're going to start doing charity comedy shows to benefit comedians who aren't even on the show. They're just like, he's had Not a
couldn't
great
get
year.
booked on this, so we're.
I mean, it is a great, like, even if it's not for the show, like there's like that merch pitch at the end is like a portion of the proceeds goes to, it's like such an easy grift.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I told you about that, Andrew, when I did a show, and I was like, all right, I'm going to give a portion of my sales to the cause, and everyone cheers. And then I sold a CD. And I had to go to the lady and be like, do you have change of a 10 so I can contribute to the cause?
That's very humiliating. No, every merch pitch is like a borderline charitable ask. Like it's usually like an admission that they don't need the thing you're selling, that it's not, that they could probably find, if it's an album or a video, like you can probably find this on the internet for free. If this is a t-shirt, you're never going to wear this. You know what I mean? Like
Give it to your girlfriend for pajamas.
Yeah. So every merch pitch is embarrassing.
Speaking of which, do you want to see my new merch for my just dropped album?
Speaking of embarrassing, here comes Jono's merch pitch.
Yeah, let me go set myself on fire. Andrew, are you selling any merch for Rockstar?
Well, that's interesting. I just started I don't have any physical versions of it, but I did just start a store with the you can get the cover art from the album on a shirt or a hoodie or whatever you want. I put it on my website. So if anybody's interested, you can go to my website and get it.
Yeah, get some merch from Andrew. I feel weird. Like I've only ever sold albums after shows. Like I never had a t-shirt or anything. But like now because everything is digital now, and you can kind of basically get the album for free on Spotify, or if Spotify hasn't kicked you off already.
Well, yeah.
Which is a whole other bag of worms. So like I wanted to sell something that like would represent the album and then give a download code with it. So it is like you're buying the album, but it's also a physical thing that's more useful than a CD. And so my newest album, Midnight Oil, is prayer candle aesthetics. So I turned mine into a prayer candle.
Wow.
Ooh,
look at
I like
that. Happy Easter.
So now it's the kind of thing that you can easily keep or give as a gift. So like it's like, hey, this will be a good, nice, it's also a thing you can get in any city. So like you just go to like the dollar store and whatever and just buy however many you think you'll sell, and you don't have to like take it both ways.
So you buy the prayer candle and just put your sticker on it?
But you can put the sticker on the blank prayer candle, and then you can sell them as merch.
Oh, that's
genius. Then you don't even have to travel with the
That's
candle.
what I was just gonna say.
That's so demoralizing. Is like packing a suitcase full of like beer koozies and t-shirts, and then coming home with the exact amount. You're paying extra to haul your own merch across the country.
Merch is such a great comedy conversation because it's so funny. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but like I was talking to Joe Larson, and he knew a guy who would just sell socks and underwear, but not with any sort of. He would go to Walmart before his shows and buy packs of, and he's like, "Hey, everybody needs socks and underwear, new socks and underwear." And he would just mark them up.
That's so great.
And he would do great because he's right. Everyone could use like a few new pair. You feel like $1 million. You put on a new pair of underwear. So
that is funny.
But prayer candles. There you go.
Yeah.
We're all under the like delusion that we're like, oh no, our thing has got to be,
very. Yeah, like we can't be sellouts and.
No, but okay. So Jono, the new album, Midnight Oil.
Midnight Oil.
Is it already out?
What is the preferred way you want people to receive it?
Great question. So you can get it in any form that you normally use, because obviously you can stream it on different platforms and whatever, or you can buy it on Bandcamp, and there's all Blonde Medicine, the record label, put together they have this like website that has all like the little links for whatever choice you want to make, and I made a easy to remember URL to be the umbrella to just like, if you want to go to my album, check out this. And like, you can buy like whatever now. It doesn't have to be .com or .net
Yeah.
or .org. So the two websites I bought to promote the album were Bible.recipes and jokes.farm.
All right.
So go to jokes.farm or Bible.recipes, and you can check out Midnight Oil, buy it or stream it, as one would see fit.
Nice.
I love it. Well, thanks for coming. Hey, Johnny, do you have anything you want to promote?
Nope.
I shouldn't.
No, I'll be at Indianapolis Helium, May 27, 28.
Memorial
Go
Day?
check. Is that Memorial Day?
The Memorial Day? Gonna get that Memorial Day
crap.
crowd?
Yeah.
I can never keep straight
Probably.
Memorial Day and Labor Day.
Yeah.
I get those mixed up. Like which?
Hey, so
one's
do
which?
I.
Do you
get
really?
made fun of? Yeah, do you get made fun of? My
All
wife
the time. And
Yeah,
I'm always saying it wrong. Like, hey, happy Memorial. Like, I literally the weekend because Monday holidays mean nothing to comedians. Like honestly, it's
Right.
less than it's actually bad. There's nothing worse than like, oh shit, I don't even get the mail today, or my check can't come today, or no one's emailing. What is going on? Like,
Why
I
is my
hate
trash still sitting out there?
yeah, I hate Monday holidays. But yeah, Labor Day, Memorial Day, I'll never keep it.
Oh, what's sad is my wedding is one of those, and I still.
Wow.
The September one is that's Labor Day.
That's
right?
Labor Day, right?
So
Well, it has to be.
They should switch them because like.
No, it can't. Now I'm confused as it is.
No, because you think about it, like it's the beginning and end of summer, so you feel like the summer break, like Labor fought to have breaks that should start summer, and then Memorial Day is the death of summer. It's the end. You're memorializing it.
Yeah, and then when's Veterans Day?
Oh, October.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah,
it's
always. I've never not been surprised by it's Veterans Day.
Yeah. So whatever it is, Memorial Day. I don't even know why we started talking about. Oh, go see Johnny.
Yeah.
In Indianapolis. Helium. I'm at Laughs Comedy Club in Seattle, 29th and 30th. So of April. And there's no holiday, I don't think. That's it. Just a regular ass old weekend. Well, everybody, that's the show. Thank you.
5-star review.
5-star review. Leave a 5-star review.
Jono's album.
And what you need backup on. And if you hated the guest today, what a great space.
Yeah.
Just as long as you leave the 5-star review, just vent your heart's desire about Jono and why. They literally said, Jono, in that. I don't know if you remember. You probably did because you just listened to it. They're like, if they've got a new album out, tell them to talk about it on their own podcast. And it's like, well, no, they're trying to get it to more. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is you're trying to reach different.
Anyway,
that's it.
Several podcast ideas.
Yeah, talk about it on there. Thanks, Jono. Thanks everybody for listening to the Cavalry.
The Cavalry.